Hey there everyone, Lord Frigid here with another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. Today's video covers the recently completed Light season. I had a pretty smooth season myself. I ended up deploying the Elise raiding party a lot, which I found pretty interesting. And then there was unfortunately one match where I did lose a single unit, and I decided to press onward because it wasn't really worth surrendering it. I was guaranteed to hold Vault of Heaven anyway, so I figured, you know what, I'll just let this go. And I did. So yeah, I'll just have to pay more attention to enemy skills next time around. I didn't notice the enemy's Brave Hector had Brazen Death Res, so that was unfortunate. In any case, that will appear in tomorrow's Battle Dump video along with the rest of the matches, so let's go ahead and get into today's showcases. The first map up is a somewhat space oppression-ish map featuring beast units in Leith and Tibarn. Of course, Hel and Bramimond in the backline are no slouches themselves. There are two refreshers on the map as well, with Raisin and Leanne not being transformed due to being adjacent to Hel and Bramimond respectively. As far as weaknesses go, the fact that the traps are all in the lower section of the map instead of actually protecting the map's units makes the map very susceptible to a player phase style approach. I would also say that the map has a compositional weakness to red units. A good red tank would probably get decent mileage here. Finally, if you do have isolation available, a good thing to do would be to isolate one of the herons and then just do a hit and run attack on Leith. That opens up a space for Hel to move to, which is valuable because as a no-assist unit, Hel is forced to move first on the enemy phase. Then she will consume the refresh of whichever heron you did not isolate, and she's really too far away for her 2 movement to be able to do anything with it. So then Tibarn and Bramimond will advance basically alone with no power of refreshing to assist them, and you can kind of deal with that as it occurs. If you do that approach, I would definitely test the traps beforehand. But yeah, it's certainly doable, and I would say that any of those strategies ought to be useful for this particular map. So let's go ahead and get into my approach. I'm going to go ahead and send in the Elise raiding party for this battle. This is going to be pretty interesting just because of the sheer amount of setup required. I need to test a bunch of these traps, although not that upper right bolt trap. And then I also have to take out the Bright Shrine to make sure Azura can take out the Tibarn. But so yeah, it's gonna be a little interesting to set this up, but it shouldn't be too bad. Let me go ahead and actually move Air over here. I'm going to have her get a refresh from Azura so she can warp to Elise, make her way up towards the Bright Shrine. And then I need to start working most of my units over to the right-hand side. Azura most notably, but also Air, which is going to be kind of annoying. Oh, and that Tactics Room is going to be annoying as well. Okay, well, let me take out the Bright Shrine. Let me see. There's really no way to get Peony over to Air right now. That would be really nice if I could, but oh well. Alright, so then I can go ahead and move Puntazura over there. I did notice the Tactics Room does not affect Elise, so I don't think I'll need to destroy it. So let me go ahead and continue setting up, get Air out of here, make sure she is out of the range of the Tactics Room as well. Let me start moving Air over to the right-hand side. Azura can now take her position. That is where she will need to be. Air will reposition her in over the bolt trap. Of course, she has disarm trap, so that won't affect her. And then from there, Azura will be able to take out the Tibarn. So let's go ahead and do this. Oh, this is kind of annoying too. I am not going to be able to get to get this started next turn because Peony is too far away to refresh Elise after she attacks the Leaf. That's probably going to be the opening move. Actually, let me just double check this matchup. Oh, wow. Okay. I was super focused on making sure she could double the Leaf, and then I totally did not realize that she could just straight up one-shot her. Nice job. Alright, nice job me. So let me go ahead and kick things off here. Turn 6 of 8. Thankfully we have Milla to help things along. I think I would have been able to get the the victory without that extra turn, but the Aether structures would have been kind of shaky. Let me go ahead and reposition in Azura now, although I will take out Bramimond first just to make sure that Azura is not in Elise's way. She does have 2 solo skills, and having minus 12 attack for this matchup would have been very, very bad. She can go ahead and take out the Tipwine now, though. Actually, I'm kind of wondering if I even needed to take out the Bright Shrine, since Elise being where she is, the Elise's staff is basically a rain to all stats on the player phase. So, oh well. Something to think about for next time, I guess. At least it will be able to take out the Racing, and since I isolated Leanne, the Hell will move first, but she won't actually be able to do anything since Leanne's isolated. And Leanne is actually going to transform, but she is also affected by the movement penalty, so she only moves 1 space as well. Let me go ahead and take a look at things here. I think what I do... what do I do? I think I take out the Hell, and then I check... Because Leanne is not exactly the world's heaviest hitter here, even though Hell has less movement. I don't think this particular Leanne is very threatening. Let me just give Elise a refresh and choose an Aether structure to go after. Pick the Fountain, and then, turn 7 of 8. I don't need to finish this off now. And I think what I want to do is Smite Peony out of Leanne's range. Mila definitely doesn't die. And neither does Air. Leanne's too weak for that, so I can have Azura refresh Air, take out the Amphore, and that should be good. So let's see. She probably goes after Air here. That's what I thought. 25 hurts, but it's not going to kill her. And then on the next turn, I can just have Elise finish the job.
Do my best.
The second map is also a space suppression style setup with the Fire Sweep Bolin covering a large swath of space. She does have a range that overlaps with both Bramimond and Yoon on either side of her. Additionally, on the right-hand side, there's a bit of a rally trap element. If you try to bait out the Yoon, Eliwood will jump out and rally her and then get refreshed by either Sigurd or Triandra. I don't really know what the AI rules are regarding who does the refreshing, but I would go ahead and just assume Triandra here because her refresh is more threatening, as it applies penalties and the guard effect to enemies within cardinal directions of her and her refreshed target. Structurally speaking, there aren't really any things that you can exploit here. It's pretty structurally sound. Composition-wise, a solid red unit will probably get you mileage here, just as it was with the first map. The million-dollar question is, of course, where to put them. I think probably the best bet here, if you have the tools to pull it off, would be a divide and conquer strategy. Now, that involves a fairly specific setup, so bear with me as I explain it. You will need a primary tank who can take at least 5 damage from Sigurd, which honestly isn't really that hard. The man has a lot of attack. You will place them here, where the Aether Fountain currently is. Then you will need a secondary tank who takes more damage from Bolin than your primary tank, but doesn't die, or I don't know, maybe you just want to sacrifice somebody because if you're using a bonus unit mythic hero, you can afford to do that. You will place that unit here at the bottom of Lin's range. You will also need to isolate the Eliwood so he doesn't jump out in front of Yoon and rally, because that will take away the space from which Triandra is able to attack your unit. So, with all of that set up, what happens here is that Lin will go down, straight down, and attack your secondary tank, since she does deal more damage. And Sigurd, because he deals at least 5 damage to your primary tank, will attack them. So then, of course, Triandra and Yoon will attack, and Bramimond and Eliwood will advance. So the net result here is that you have safely baited out Lin, or unsafely if you did decide to go the sacrifice route. You have eliminated both Refreshers and Yoon, and you have forced Bramimond and Eliwood to advance without actually being able to immediately threaten your units. So if you can do that, hopefully you can get some follow-up actions going to finish the job. Interestingly enough, this map is actually a job for the Elise raiding party because Elise's staff's gravity effect really screws with this map. Let me go ahead and take some time to set up stuff here. I'm going to go ahead and break the Heart Garland, then smite Azura up, refresh Elise, take out the fake Kagami Mochi, and then just move Azura into this little pocket of unthreatened space. Let me go ahead and also have Air break the Aether Fountain here. And then I will continue to get things set up. I do need to destroy this tactics room, so let me go ahead and do that, and then I can do a refresh and reposition, well, sort of reposition, refresh and return, let's call it that, to get Peony and Elise both to safety. I can go ahead and break the Snow family there, and then just hit end turn. Now let me see, I need to get Milla over to the rightmost column so she can isolate the Eliwood. I think I can do a reposition with Air, actually, because if I then refresh Air, Peony will still be able to get to the position she needs to get to on the next turn, so that's fine. So let me go ahead and... Oh wait, no, I don't want to end turn here. I definitely need that Fortify Res buff here. Well, maybe I don't. I don't know. I think I might. That was the result of my calculations. Let me go ahead and kick things off here. Let me move Elise up and get a refresh from Peony. She'll be able to take out the Bramimond with 2 27s. So after that happens, she will be able to get a refresh from Azura, which is why I kind of hid her in that pocket of unthreatened space. Then she will be able to take out the the Lin. And then she will apply gravity to both Sigurd and to Yoon, so both of them and Triandra will be forced to attack Elise on the enemy phase, and Eliwood will not be able to initiate the rally because Milla has isolated him. One more cool maneuver here, warp Milla to Peony with the power of Gentle Dream, since she was in the same row when Peony did that first refresh. That's why I had Milla in that column instead of way down at the bottom. So Elise is able to take out Sigurd handily, not even taking half of her HP in the process. She will unfortunately go down below half on the subsequent attacks. I think Triandra does like 12 damage to her or something. Oh, 10. Okay, interesting. I miscalculated that one. Alright, cool. Not really complaining though. So, she actually gets one hit KO'd, and yeah, I guess I didn't really need the Fortify Res 4 buff, because even if Yoon did deal damage, she did have her miracle ready. So Eliwood will advance, but he doesn't have any refresh power to back him up. He's just going to be advancing harmlessly, and then I should be free to take the Aether structure, the remaining Aether structure, the Aether Amphore. And Elise is at 26 out of 51 HP. I really shouldn't have given her that buff, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Let me go ahead and refresh from here, and then take out the Eliwood to finish the job. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Aether Raid's Offense. I know I had a lot of fun running around with Elise, hitting everybody with that movement restriction penalty. Next week, we'll be going back into Astro, where Regan will be a bonus unit, so perhaps we can get some more Gale Force action going. It's actually kind of interesting, because the bonus unit is nice for the offensive punch, but it also makes it a little bit harder to set up Wings of Mercy chains. Of course, Regan's base 38 HP isn't really anything to write home about. It might not be that much of an issue. We'll have to see as time goes on. In any case, I hope to see you all again next week for another episode of Aether Raid's Offense. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.